Hi, Christine. So good to see you. And thanks so much for taking the time. I've been looking forward to this conversation, especially with you and in Central Oregon and, in the collaborative sphere. Just tell us your name and, your area of practice and a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Christine Bacon. My firm is Alderwood Legal. My areas of practice are family law, collaborative, divorce, traditional divorce, and then also mediation. I also practice in the area of special education and education matters, guardianships and conservatorships, and estate planning. They all seem to relate to one another in some way.
Yeah, it's quite an integrative practice you have. I love that. A lot of clients are coming to us directly as the lending professionals or the financial neutrals. And from the family law perspective, what would you share with someone as that is starting on this path, either contemplating the divorce or just beginning and starting to get their ducks in a row? What piece of advice would you give them?
The first piece would be to gather all of your documents and have a really good understanding of your finances and then what the needs are of the people in your family. And then the second part of that, because I think it's twofold, is if you're going to use outside professionals, whether it's legal or financial, to really get to know the people that are in your area and maybe do interviews before you settle on someone, because this is usually one of the worst times in your life. And it's helpful to have somebody that can hear you and understand you and advocate for you, because you also want to be educated during this process. So they have to truly hear you in order to meet all of your other needs.
So well put, and it's so perfect because it segues into my next question. What should one look for as they're selecting their team or a couple people on their team? Some people don't even know who they might need on their team. And, as you said, this is one of the most probably vulnerable and dysregulating parts of one's life. And so it's, what are the key kind of maybe questions or things to think about in selecting an attorney or a mediator?
The very first thing would be, do you want to meet with someone in person or virtual? Personalities are different and people have different needs. And as the client, you want to know how you will feel most comfortable. Do you want to be sitting across the table from someone, or are you okay via Zoom? The second part is I would ask for recommendations of individuals that match how you want your case to be carried out. So attorneys are just like everyone else. There's a lot of different personalities. I mean, there's only so many variations of the same, but once you land on what type of an attorney you want, then meeting those attorneys and talking to them, whether you want somebody that's going to be aggressive, someone that's going to be collaborative, someone that has experience working with children of variety of needs, neurodiverse children, or someone that has significant experience in division of very unique assets, or parties that own their own business. And that's a whole nother area too. And I would say the same for the financial neutral or financial consultant that you're working with, making sure that they too have that same dynamic and can work well with your attorney, because that's what helps create a solid team.
Yeah. And I imagine maybe a combination of personality types or qualities of a person, because, clients may, start out thinking they want someone a little more aggressive, and then as they get down the road, a little bit more collaborative, or vice versa, right? Amicable, and then maybe a little bit more aggressive. So a touch of both may serve well.
Yeah.
Is there a case that is memorable that stands out to you? And if so, what would be the element that makes it stand out?
Gosh, there's a lot of them. I just had a huge one yesterday, so
Yeah.
it's hard to so the one that comes to mind is a case where a child had a strained relationship with the other parent, and we were navigating how to rebuild that relationship. So it wasn't as bad as a reunification where, the parent hadn't seen the child for a long period of time, but it was very delicate, because we had to figure out the child's desires and interests, balance it with their age and how much weight you give to that, and their mental health needs, and then also the ways to craft a parenting plan around that.
Right.
And then also finding a way to share that information to the other parent that had the strained relationship in order for that parent to be able to really hear it. A lot of times what I have found is that if a child has a concern, they share it with parent A, but it's about parent B, and parent A shares it with parent B. Parent B just sort of shuts off to it. It's hard to hear for anyone if you're getting divorced to hear from your soon to be ex partner something that is not so favorable. Yeah, the other piece, it's not necessarily about one case in particular, but to me, watching clients over a period of time realize their value.
Oh, wow.
They'll
Yeah.
come to you and they're broken and they have this mess and they want you to help them solve it, right? Figure it out, and empowering them in the process. And I've had numerous clients that really, in the end, see this as, okay, something horrible happened, right? This marriage or partnership is ending, but now I have an opportunity to like set myself up for a whole new chapter, and trying to pull the good from the prior chapter and bringing it into the new chapter that they're creating.
Yes, I love that. And I love the way that you framed it. You know, I often say to clients that I'm working with, you know, this is an opportunity to turn one of your greatest challenges into a growth and a learning opportunity, right? There are things maybe you don't know about yourself, or the nuts and bolts of the financial pieces or the legal pieces that you get to grow through, you know, through this kind of deconstructing process. And that's so, I mean, that's so perfectly put. So thank you. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like to share?
I guess I'd like to share my passion.
Yes.
I really enjoy crafting complex parenting plans for neurodiverse kids. It's where it's very near and dear to my heart, and there are not very many people that really understand neurodiverse children and their needs, whether it's gender issues, intellectual, developmental issues, medical, mental health concerns. I really enjoy.
I'm so glad that you
helping
shared
them.
that, because you're right. There's not an overabundance of people doing that. So yeah, thank you. So how can people get a hold of you?
On my website, alderwoodlegal.com, alder like the wood, and then the word wood, legal.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Manya.